Need a quick recap of The Last of Us Season 1 before you watch Season 2? I got you. The show starts by introducing us to Joel and his daughter Sarah. They live a nice normal life until a zombie apocalypse begins, all thanks to the cordyceps fungus, which works its way into the brain and completely takes over, leading to terrifying transformations. In the middle of the chaos, Joel and Sarah encounter the army, who they think is going to save them, but plot twist, they shoot Sarah thinking that she might be infected. Fast forward a couple of decades, and the world is a post-apocalyptic wasteland now. Joel lives in a quarantine zone in Boston, and he lives his life as a smuggler and has a girlfriend named Tess. He gets tasked with transporting this teenager named Ellie across the country for a group called the Fireflies. They're a rebel organization opposing the corrupt government, and it also marks the second time in a show that Pedro Pascal's had to smuggle a child somewhere and become its father figure. What are the odds? Now, this mission is particularly special because it turns out that Ellie is immune to the cordyceps, and the Fireflies think her blood can make a cure. While on their journey, they encounter some infected, and Tess gets bitten by one, and it's GG's for her. Joel and Ellie continue on their journey. They're now heading to find Joel's brother Tommy in Wyoming, and on the way, they stop at Bill and Frank's compound to stock up on supplies and get a truck. And we get a nice flashback episode to Bill and Frank's beautifully tragic story. Joel and Ellie then wind up in Kansas City, where a group of raiders who have taken control of the city attack them. They manage to hide out with this guy Henry and his brother Sam, and as they try to escape Kansas City together, the raiders show back up, and then a whole horde of infected pop out of the ground,
like daisies,
including a bloater who's built like a freaking refrigerator. And the team gets away, but Sam was tragically bitten, and Henry has to take him out and then ends his own life right after. Joel and Ellie continue on and finally make it to Wyoming to Joel's brother Tommy, but it ultimately ends up being just a stop along the way because they have to continue their journey, so Tommy gives them a horse to travel on. He directs them to a science lab in Colorado, but it turns out that it's been abandoned and relocated to Salt Lake City. Then some raiders show up and Joel gets stabbed, and we get an episode with Ellie's backstory, where we learn that Ellie and her former best friend and temporary love interest were bitten, and Ellie had to put her friend down but learns that she herself is immune. Back to Ellie and Joel. Ellie's trying to find food and gets taken by a weird cannibalistic cult who's led by a creepy pedophile. But Ellie's a freaking boss and ends up escaping and taking out the leader, and reunites with Joel, who's recovered from his injuries. Joel and Ellie have an incredible bonding moment, and it's clear that Joel basically sees her as a second daughter. But then the Fireflies show up and they take Joel and Ellie in, where they can finally make a cure. But plot twist, Joel learns that by making the cure, it's gonna kill Ellie. So Joel turns into the Punisher and takes out everyone in the hospital because Joel can't stand to lose another daughter, even if it could mean saving the world. So Joel takes Ellie and leaves Salt Lake City, and when Ellie wakes up, Joel feeds her a bunch of BS about the cure not working and raiders attacking the hospital. And Ellie's definitely skeptical of his story, but they decide to head back to Wyoming to live with Joel's brother Tommy, and that's where Season 1 ends.